Okay, folks, let's talk a little about safety and how hot the steam is here. Now, the body of the machine, we're basically at pressure. The body of the machine is going to get considerably warm. I can lay my hand on it and not burn myself, but I know that this machine is on. So if there's pets, children around, please keep them away from the steamer. The bottom of the machine is going to be much hotter than the top of the machine because the boiler and the heater are mounted to the bottom. So if you need to carry it by the handle. Don't place your hand at the bottom. That's where it's going to be its hottest. As well, don't touch anything that's brass. The brass adjustment valve on the front, that's going to get a little bit hotter because that conducts steam flow. And the little brass tip at the front of your attachments, that's going to get extremely hot. Now, on the flip side, there's been people over the years that have said, well, I start to spray my steam, and even though it says we're at 110 PSI on the front gauge, I spray steam, and I can put my hand in front of the steam and not burn myself. As you can see, I'm not burning myself. Now, the closer I get my hand to the nozzle, it's going to get hotter. But here's the thing about steam. Right now, with that little bit of steam coming out, that's when it's at its extreme hottest. If I try and go palm first, if I had a brush on the end of this, and I tried to go palm first to take my brush off while there was just a residual amount of steam coming out, that's where I burn myself. I'm not going to burn myself. I'm not going to burn myself here, but I'm going to burn myself here. So be careful. The limited amount of steam coming out of the nozzle, there's less water content, so it's going to be hotter. Don't touch the brass. Don't come at it palm first. And don't think that you should be able to hold your hand 4, 5, 6 inches away from the steam and think that the machine is defective because it's not blowing hot enough steam. It's hot. Believe me, it's hot. Now, we're not one of the companies that tells you how hot the steam is coming out of the nozzle because that's so hard to quantify, because as soon as steam hits atmosphere, it cools off extremely fast. And if you're working in a cold environment, if you're working outside, if it's fall, if it's winter, early spring, that steam hitting the atmosphere is going to put on a great show. And it's going to come out in plumes and plumes, and it's going to look great. But by the time the steam gets out to here, it's going to be cold. The most effective way to use steam is to have your brush on the end of the nozzle and gently scrub the surface where you're actually trapping the steam on the surface, not letting it escape. That's how you're going to get your best cleaning ability. Now, again, we don't tell you how to clean certain things. That's all up to you, whether you want to spray steam on the surface or whether you want to put a brush on the end of the surface. But in most cases, a brush is going to help you more than just spraying steam on the surface. And again, holding your hand in front of the nozzle and expecting it to burn you from this far away, it's not going to happen. Believe me, it's hot. We push these machines about as far as they can go. It's 330 degrees inside the boiler. Of course, it's going to lose temperature as it comes out of the boiler through the steam hose and out the nozzle. So by the time it gets to here, yeah, you're losing quite a bit of temperature. But as you're cleaning and you're scrubbing with a brush, it's going to be hot and it's going to be effective.